can we believe mining firms when they say quite outright that they simply cannot afford to pay more to their workers?
Well, they certainly could have afforded to pay a lot more to their workers a long time ago. You had a commodities boom between roughly 2001 and 2008. Huge dividends were paid to shareholders, massive bonuses to directors. Now, you can't criticize that because, you see, the balance should come in with the union. The union should at that stage have pushed for more money, better conditions for miners, which I don't think they did adequately. Because, you see, the point is that it is the fiduciary duty, the legal duty of every company director to maximize profits, not for the workers, but for the shareholders. It's actually, there's a wonderful court case in 1918 in the United States, the Supreme Court of Michigan, Dodge versus Ford, an auto industry thing, where it was ruled that you could not cut prices to benefit the consumer if it meant you were depriving the shareholders of more money. So that's a reality. And the balance that comes in there is the need for unions to balance that out. So at a time when you argue that the platinum mines in particular could have afforded to pay a lot more, they didn't. They paid it out to themselves. Now, when there's a bit of a crunch time coming, the unions are pushing for a decent living wage. It's not their fault. It's a fault of a number of other factors, including the companies, the previous union, National Union of Mine Workers, the government at various levels. But it's no use sort of pointing fingers and blaming everybody. We've got to get together, acknowledge the mistakes that were made, see where we are now, and we better plan something very rapidly for the future, otherwise we're in for real trouble.
Let's speak about those plans. Are we in a hopeless situation where we can't go back, or can something be done?
I think something can be done. It requires some innovative thinking, it requires some radical action, and government has to be involved. I found it very significant that a lot of the mining companies, Implats in particular, has been making statements saying, we realize the mistakes we made. I mean, we've never heard that in the past. We made no mistakes. Of course not. We've been wonderful. Look at our social responsibility programs. That's a standard sort of line. The obnoxious, I think, Milton Friedman, the guru of neoliberalism, just before he died, said any company director who prioritizes social responsibility should be sacked on the spot, because it's perfectly true. So social responsibility, no, they didn't do what they should have done. They could have converted single-sex hostels a long time ago. You've also got another complicating factor, not just at local government level, but these platinum mines are all on so-called tribal land. In the case of Amplats and Implats, it's Bafokeng. In the case of Lonmin, it's Bamogale. They too have stood in the way of developing any sort of settlement there for miners because they see them as foreigners, intruders. They don't want all these isiXhosa-speaking people coming in, or people from Lesotho or Mozambique, and settling there, bringing their families and settling. Why not? They also are to blame. So it's, as I'm saying, it's not a question of blaming people, it's a question of acknowledging who was responsible, at what level, and how that can be corrected. And we better do something about it fast.